We made our train. They wound up changing the time from 10:11 to 9:57. So thank God I'm a nag and I made us get here super early. We decided to splurge and get first class because this is a 4-hour train ride to Vienna. And honestly, legroom is amazing.
One additional perk for being first class is that you get to order food and drinks to your seat. So you don't have to actually go to the bar area or whatever. So that's classy. We're gonna be classy.
We made it to Vienna. Guten Tag. We made it to our hotel in Vienna. It's called the Hotel Trend Astoria.
We booked it with credit card points, so we didn't pay a dime for it, so it's not like we're bougie.
Thank you.
Capital One.
Capital One. So after settling into the hotel, it's already 5 p.m. Our main destination for right now is the Schönbrunn Palace, which is a short walk from our hotel. So we're thinking, all right, we'll head right there. Along the way, there's the Spanish writing school, there's the state building. It's so grand. We're staying in Inner Stadt. There's already been so much just steps outside from our hotel. What's going on, but there's music and there's tons of people and we're just like in front of a couple museums and we just wanted to fit in, so got ourselves some beers. Selling on the street, open container law. You know we love that. Oh, we had our beer, we hung out, we chatted with some folks, but now we are headed to the beer garden. We're gonna try to get there by scooter.
I was trying to go to a beer garden. I didn't realize there was a full-on amusement park here. We're like getting lost.
That looks fun. I mean, great if you have kids. It's like, all right, mom and dad are gonna go over here. You guys go over there.
This place is huge. There's like 1,000 people here, it feels like. We were finally able to find a table. We got some beer. We ordered some food using our translator. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, we're doing it. We joined the walking tour. And if it just starts downpouring, I think we'll just leave.
It's always hard to film these things, but I think we're gonna learn a lot about Vienna, which is really exciting.
And then maybe we'll report back. But we started here at the Opera House, which, one fun fact, when it was first built, everyone in Vienna hated it. They thought it was really ugly, so kind of sad, but it does look a little bit like a train station.
It does,
so
yeah.
this tour has been really great so far. We're getting a lot of information and staying in the area that is right around our hotel, so we'll definitely have to come back to some of these things. One thing I definitely want to do is walk all the way to the top of the cathedral. We have officially started step 1 of 343.
What a marathon. Jeez. I was sprinting to try to keep up with her. Dang.
I was power walking. So might as well just keep going fast, otherwise it's gonna be more painful. really cool because at the top, the guy who works up there, by the way, what a commute he has, he was telling us all about how you could only go halfway up because the other half, you have to actually go outside of the spire and climb ladders to get up the other like 22 floors. There's 11 employees. They're in charge of restoring the outside of that huge spire for the cathedral, which is such a cool job. But you actually have to be small enough to fit to even get the job because you have to fit out the window. So the guy who works up there in like the tourist part was saying that he couldn't even do that job because he has too big of a beer belly.
If you don't want to climb all the way up, you can also go to the stump, which is the other tower that was never finished. You can actually take an elevator up on that side. So on the short side, you can take the elevator, and on the tall side, you have to walk all the way up.
Now we're walking in the part of Vienna that was not demolished and knocked down. They decided that Vienna needed wider streets, bigger buildings. That gives it now this kind of more metropolitan, cosmopolitan vibe. But then you also have this part of the city that has the smaller alleyways and the cobblestone streets that honestly I prefer. It seems a little bit more like Prague or Lisbon. You can get lost in the streets and it's very charming. So rather than those big boulevards, kind of like those small, tiny streets.
I think I'm ready for a beer and some Spätzle. And if Erin wants schnitzel, everything. And strudel and that cake.
It is our last full day in Vienna, and we had a bit of a slow morning because we probably won't be able to get to sleep in for a little while. And since our morning yesterday was super early, but it didn't matter. It was the most magical day. Maybe top 5 most magical days ever. So we are really excited to have one last full day here in Austria, and it's like 70 degrees out. Love that. It has over 1,000 rooms. The gardens in the back are as big or bigger than the country Monaco, which is, you know, a city, but either way, it costs $70 for the 2 of us. So we're definitely gonna try to take advantage of this beautiful palace. I mean, just from the outside, it's huge. And this wasn't even their main home. This was their summer home. It pays to be an emperor and empress. Just spent about an hour going through the tour. It was only the first floor of the palace. That's all you could see. So while this palace is ginormous, this is only one little tiny section of the entire area. Like they have a full-on zoo on the grounds. So we're gonna go check that out now. We couldn't film inside, so we'll head outside and give you a little more information. Has to be probably the biggest and most over-the-top palace I've ever been to. I've been to quite a few. Okay, so just a couple little fun facts from what we learned while we were on our tour. Austria didn't like to get into wars. They didn't like to wage wars on anybody. What they did to kind of make better ties with different countries that were maybe having problems is they would marry their children off. So there were Habsburgs in Mexico, Brazil, Spain, France, all around literally the world. So clearly they increased their influence and power that way, but it all came crumbling down. After World War I, Franz Ferdinand, who was also a part of the Austrian imperial family, clearly, obviously, that's what started World War I. So then everything just kind of crumbled. But now we still have these palaces and these gardens to take advantage of and to learn about, get a glimpse of the past. And one cool thing about the gardens is that they are free to the public. So other than the zoo, which you have to pay for, you just roam about the gardens. You don't have to pay for the palace, which is really, really cool.
The name of the game for Austria was definitely to have as many kids as they could and then marry them off to get strategic ties and influence throughout Europe. And that's how they expanded their empire so quickly. In just 3 generations, they had this incredible empire in Europe. And they hardly had to wage war to do it, just made marriages.
So it was definitely confusing trying to get a grasp on the family tree, because also everyone's names were the same. And then people were aunts and cousins, mother-in-laws and sister. I don't know. It was just like really weird with all the inbreeding. You were an uncle, but you were also a nephew. You were an uncle, and you were also a brother. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Of this gloriette, and you could really see 360-degree panorama views. So beautiful.
We are finished at the palace and we are now catching an Uber to go to a Heuriger, which is like an Austrian vineyard wine place. We're very excited about it.
The nice thing is we get to still walk through the gardens to get out.
We are here at the Heuriger. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably not, but it started in 1740 and it looks so cute. So looks like a little beer garden, but it's wine.
It's first
Perfect.
soda and then the wine.
Okay. We're having a liter, which is a liter of white wine and a liter of soda water. You mix them together and it's a Viennese tradition. So, cheers. It's really good actually. Wow, it's delicious. You have to try it.
A Wein Spritzer. Prost.
We're playing I Spy and Erin said something brown and I was losing my mind. She said it was alive and I named all the plants. There's a cat up in the tree that's brown. It's so cute. Woo!
What's it called?
St. Peter's.
No, it's not. St. Stephen's.
What is that?
St. Stephen's.
Is it St. Stephen's? Erin's very interested in the lineage of the Habsburgs. I'm checking out. I'm too confused, but she's trying to figure it out.
Keep Googling and trying to figure out who's who and who's whose father and son and who is next in line and things like that.
Stay tuned. Subscribe. I ruined the order of that. Subscribe, stay tuned. See you later.
Every stop along the way, every little town we made it to was like more beautiful and more beautiful than the next. This is just unreal.
But the hills are alive. Look at this hill.
I mean, if you're coming to Austria, like, you have to come here. I feel like this is going to be our highlight of our entire trip.